again of two lovers trying to stay the best of friends. Like next to kin, we were closer than some Mexicans. Always on the phone talking about your men. An argument of every proportion. He takes so much from you. Your man should be locked up for extortion or robbery, from taking you away from me. Why can't you see that by my side is where you're supposed to be? No more nights alone, no more worrying about if I ever come home. I see the pain in your eyes, I wipe the tears when you cry, cause in you is where my future resides. The only one in my life, but you're still hesitating to give us a try. But through it all, I'm still your friend, baby girl, if I'm not your man. She told me,
baby, I don't understand why he treats me so bad, and inside I feel so sad, my darling baby. Whoa, 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 my heart won't let him go, even though I love you so.
what happened next? It caused confusion. Was my reality just a false illusion?
I know your body, I know your heart. Your eyes told me from the start, but then you fall back, giving me signs that I've seen before. Yeah, it's cute, but honey, I want more. Don't waste no more time. No, no. You don't have to wait for it tonight. You don't have to be so damn polite. No,
All right, man. Sorry about the little technical difficulty to start off tonight's show, man. But welcome to another episode of Pollywood. It's your boy Saul G, man. I'm just trying to get some things done here behind the scenes, so y'all got to give me a little quick second. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you while I'm doing that. If you haven't already, make sure you're liking the show wherever you're watching. Just make sure you're sharing the show to your friends. Make sure you know if you're on Twitter, retweet, YouTube, share all the social media platforms. Let's try to get as many people watching as we can. But I got a good show for you tonight, man. I got a show that I think a lot of people need to invest in. And I think a lot of times people want to know what went wrong, right? We always do like it's almost like when you're watching a game or whatnot, right? You watch a football game, or you know, we had a nice little boxing match this weekend. And normally, right, you have your in-game commentary, you have your pre-game commentary, and you have your post-game commentary. So it breaks down into three different elements or whatnot. All right, so here I am, right? So I just want to show y'all I'm here. All right, but I got a couple more things I'm going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back up there so we can get into it or whatnot. But normally, a lot of times people will give their opinions about what they believe is going to happen before, right? You have your pregame, which will tell you one of two things that could possibly happen in this game. So the thing that I want to do, and I know the Squid Game is real popular right now, right? So I put surviving the selection process. I know it's not. It's definitely, well, some people it shouldn't be a life or death scenario, but sometimes for some of us out there, it could possibly feel that way, like it's life and death, or it's something that might have you stressed out. It is something that is causing a lot of concern in your life, right? So let's just get right into it, man. I want to talk about this tonight because I think that it's very important to talk about before things go wrong, before somebody messes up, before all the other things that go wrong within a relationship, marriage, whatever, right? There are tons of things that could possibly go wrong, but I think a lot of the times we overlook how do we even get to that point in the first time. If you've been hurt before, how did you get hurt? How did you allow somebody close enough to you, or how did you allow someone in your life that was able to get to a certain point where they were even able to hurt you? So I think there are a lot of ways we can look at this whole situation, but I want to examine tonight what I call the selection process. And what I mean by the selection process is when you are actively dating, right? You're actively dating, which means you should be pursuing something I believe is a relationship, right? So when I say actively dating, that's what I mean. You are actively pursuing a relationship with another person. If that is what you're doing, then this is where we start to make mistakes. This is where we start to mess things up. This is where we don't set ourselves up for success, if you will. So there are a lot of different ways that we can kind of do it. I kind of broke things down, and I want to, I like, people give me like some sort of I always there is no custom advice that works for everyone, right? But I do feel like there are a couple of rules that everybody can somewhat that can help produce better results. And let me see. And I call them the 3 S's, probably just because my first name starts with S. But I like these 3 S's, and I'm going to go ahead and break these down for you. So then that way we can start to understand where it is that you can say go wrong, but where it is that we start when we begin these relationships, right? Or we begin to date people, or we begin to allow people within our space, right? Number one, first S, which is one that I think is very important, self-awareness. Okay. Now, a lot of people have tried to break this down. A lot of people talk about self-awareness, but I think that it's very important when you are in that selection phase of who you are deciding to be with, who you are deciding to, once again, allow in your space. You have to ask yourself a question. Are you self-aware? Do you know where you stand? And once again, when I say where you stand, that means like you got to be honest. Where is, I don't want to go into a full out ranking, but you have to understand like where you are within the dating realm, right? You have to look at it like I'm trying to think of a good think of right now. I'm coming back to that. But being aware, you understand that there are things that you could possibly be doing that not being self-aware of where you are as a person. All right, when you enter the dating phase, because you gotta look at it like this, you are, and I think my boy Dad Boy Birdie said that, and he said like your dating history is just bad credit, like dating wise. No matter how great of a person you believe you are, no matter how great of a cook, how great in bed you believe you are, how great of a partner you feel that you are, right? At the end of the day, all you have is that history. So your history also tells you what? The caliber and the type of person that you deal with. So if you say, oh, I'm used to dealing with this type of guy. Well, actually, no, you don't. You deal with another caliber guy. Doesn't mean that you can't change. The same way, like, you're dealing with credit. It's like you can start to pay your bills on time. You can change what that history was and basically make a new pattern and say, yeah, that was back in college, but now for the last 5 years, I've been pretty consistent in what I've been attracting and what I've been putting out there. But for the most part, you can't say that you are a, different, like men as well. You say this is the type of women you pull. And then and we're like, I don't think you're pulling them like you say you are, because something's not matching up. So I think a very important aspect of what we're talking about, first of all, is being self-aware, because if you're not self-aware, you're going to continue to make the same mistakes. And there could be some things that you're not doing. There could be some things that would allow you an area of self-improvement. But the bottom line is, if you're not self-aware of where you stand, of where you fit within the dating realm, then I think, what's his name? Kevin Samuels like to do the whole, where do you think you are from a physical perspective, which is an aspect of it, but it's not everything. The same way being, as he calls it, a high value man is not everything, right? Because you could be a high value square and no woman want to deal with you. Just because you have a lot of money, yeah, it does open you up to certain types of women, right? But it's not everything at the end of the day. You still have to have some sort of personality, still got to be able to talk, interact, do something, but you can't just be, one dimensional. So I just want to do that. So number one on my list is being self-aware. Number two, selective, right? There's no point of talking about the selection process if you're not going to be selective, right? Now, what do I mean by selective? Now, we can go by the dictionary definition, but that's not what I'm referring to. When I talk about being selective, what that means is, and we just got to be honest, if you don't have the results that you feel like you should have when you're in this space, this dating space, this single space, whatever, right? If you're not getting the results that you feel you are, then in my opinion, you're not being selective enough. If you feel that you are a certain caliber man, woman, whatever, right, then you have earned the right to be extremely selective, okay? So that means that everybody will not qualify for your time or your energy. So you have to make sure that while you're in this process, you have to be selective. Because if everybody gets an opportunity, then what exactly are you offering? What exactly is going to set you apart from everybody else? You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to say no. And I think women should be a lot better at saying no than men are. But men, we have to be a lot more selective, especially when we start, when the physical realm starts to come into place. You definitely have to start being a lot more selective about, number one, who you decide to date, number one, who you decide to sleep with, and relationships, things like that. You have to become more selective, because if you don't, you're going to end up having a big headache, because you're going to either be in a situation where, men, sometimes you will be lonely and you'll be tired of being by yourself, so you will accept someone who probably would not get the time of day if you had a more consistent, I'm gonna say lineup, as we used to say, right? You had a nice dating life. You have a nice group of women that you deal with, and you're completely content with, you shouldn't, not a girlfriend or something like that, but you have a good social life, right? So if that's how it is, then normally you'll be okay. Now, from the woman's side, it would be like men, for the most part, women's DMs are probably a little bit more packed than most men, right? So you can be a little bit more selective when people get into your DMs and you're not interested. I say you should block them immediately if they are coming at you in a manner or a way that you do not feel is reflective of what you should be doing, right? So if a man comes to your DM, he's like, "What's up, baby, blah, blah," and you don't not interested, just go ahead and block him. Because if you continue to entertain somebody who from the jump you're not interested in, you're going to end up, if it don't work out, coming back to say, why did I do this? I wasn't even interested from the beginning. Why did I set myself up like this? All right. So you have to be selective. Okay. Keyword: selection process, selective. It's almost like they should just basically go one after another, but that's something that I think that you should be able to do. Like I said, this isn't a one size fit all. How selective you are, you understand what I'm saying? If you like your women size 4, 2, and 0, don't go get you a woman that's a size 20 because she had a nice personality, because you know at the end of the day, that is not what you want. You're going to end up being with somebody, and it's no offense whether you're on the 2 side or the 4 side, because it's vice versa. I know dudes who love women that are size 18 and 20, right? 24, 20, wherever. All I'm saying is, if that is not what you like, you got to be more selective and say, I am patient enough to wait for what I want. Men. Women, on the other hand, is a little different, because when you start talking about waiting for what you want and things like that, you also have to remember that the men are the ones that are kind of dictating how things are going to go. You know, because in my opinion, right, women should be selected, right? So it works a little differently for women. So that's the reason why I'm like, men, we got to get it straight, so that when you start selecting these women, then you're selecting women who you know fit the mold of what you want. So you have to understand that there could be certain aspects of these men and these women's life that are pretty much, simple way of putting it, just annoying, right? So if you have people who fit these different roles and these different areas, and like certain things about their life, like we talked about in other ones, is your social media keeping you single? So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you check out one of my past one where we talked about your social media keeping you single. If somebody has a social media that annoys you, and let's say they have a decent following, you probably might want to leave that person alone, because what are the odds that they're willing to give up that attention? They're willing to give up their social media for it. Some people might, I don't know, but I would just say leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Certain people at certain levels with social media, some people can deal with it, some people can't. So just make sure you're being extremely selective. You need to make sure women, if a man is not working, period, it's almost got to be a rule across the board. If a man is not working, he's off to the side. No more Build-A-Bear men. No more I'm gonna struggle with him when you know you had your stuff together and he doesn't. It's no more of that. That man needs to go off somewhere and get his own life together, because how is he gonna build something with you if his life ain't where it needs to be? And it's like the men need to understand that as well. If your life ain't together, you ain't even working. I mean, yeah, I get it. Who wants to be by themselves? I get it. But at the same time, it's like, man, I need to get my life together so I can make the obtaining a woman a lot easier. And you're going to have a difficult road ahead if you're not even earning the income. So, got to be selective. All right. And then the last aspect of the 3 S's, as we talk about, surviving the selection process, is serious. Right. You got to be serious when you decide whatever it is that you're trying to do. And now, what do I mean by serious? You're not going to get anywhere if you're not serious about what you want. And one part of being serious about what you want is, are you willing to be by yourself because somebody doesn't meet your standards? Or are you willing to let somebody who you know doesn't meet your standards hang around just because you don't want to be by yourself, just because you don't want to sleep alone, just because you don't want to be alone, right? You allow somebody into your space, and it just means, in my opinion, you're not serious about what you want. Once you are serious, right? Let me put it back up there. All right. You got to be serious. You got to understand what goal are you making for yourself when you're trying to figure this whole me, you, relationship, marriage, situationship, friends. It don't matter. However you want to define whatever it is that you want. Once you set that goal of whatever it is that you want, you got to be serious. If you are a man and you say, I don't want to get married, okay? and you go out with a woman, and she's beautiful. Y'all have good chemistry and all those different things. And she says, oh, I can't wait to get married. Even though everything that happened and transpired before you found out that she is not going to have that same interim goal. She wants something that you don't want. What you have to understand is at this point, you got to be out and say, hey, I had a great time. You are a beautiful young lady, but I just have to let you know that I don't have any plans on being married. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want to, rob you of that part of aspect of your life. Since I don't have any plans of being married, then, I think you would be best served if you kind of dealt with somebody else, because that's not in my future. Same way, men, if you were dating a woman and y'all went out a couple of times, and let's say, you happen not to have any children, and you're talking to a young lady and she says, oh, I don't want any kids. No matter how nice she is, no matter how fine she is, no matter what she has going on, fellas, you got to understand this point. Like, if you believe in leaving your legacy on earth, and you believe that is something that you want to have in this lifetime, then you gotta let her go. Now I'm gonna switch it over to the ladies real quick. Ladies, if you're out with a dude and you say, I say, for example, you have an income requirement, and the income ain't where you want it to be, but you got to be able to see the growth potential, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna go ahead and excuse everybody in education, because ladies, y'all got to start getting with some of these teachers out there, because we need some more men in education. And as long as they keep paying the way they paying, it's going to continue to be less and less and less men in education. But outside of education, right, you have to go ahead and say, I will not date a man under this salary level, under this pay rate, he's got to at least make this amount of money an hour for him to even be allowed in my space. Because what's always going to happen is, if he does not qualify, right, this goes back to almost being that selective, but it's also about being serious. It is a situation where if you set your bar, and everybody is different, so I can't tell one person this is what you need to set your bar at, because what you need to set your bar at. Shout out to Skissy Tobias checking in over there on YouTube. Once again, like I said, if you're watching the show, make sure you're sharing it with your friends. Make sure you are comment, let me know you're in the building, whatever. And that's what you got to do. So I was talking about being serious, and that just means, are you really serious about getting the result that you want? So that's the reason why I'm saying, if you set the bar at 60,000, anybody making under 60K, you got to say, hey, you're a nice guy, but you know what it is that you want. And it only depends on whatever you set it. Some women don't include that. They say, hey, look, I make enough myself. I'm looking for different qualities. But the bottom line is, you have to understand which red flags what is a red flag for you? What's a red flag for you might not be a red flag for somebody else. So you have to be able to understand that when you start to enter this realm, right, you have to be serious. So I'm just going to go ahead and walk us back through this. And I got a couple of tweets. I'm going to open up the phone lines for a little bitty part of the show. But just in case you just got here once again, we're talking about surviving the selection process, right? Number one, you got to be self-aware. Number two, you got to be selective. And number three, you got to be serious. So I believe if you do those three things while you are in the selection process, that means, of course, probably like numbers in this case, maybe. So I don't know, people do exchange social media these days. You have a way to communicate with that person. Once those type of things, and you start to get to learn, and y'all are talking to each other, and you're starting to learn, okay, what does he know? What does she know? Once you're in that phase, it then becomes, okay, I need to find out whether or not this person even has the potential to be with, to be around me. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and open up the old phone lines here. Let me see now. Where did I put that here? All right, here we go. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. Here we go. All right. So Miss Farrah Pierre says, where's the link? If you're watching me on Facebook, I just put the link on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, I just put it on YouTube. It's up as always on Libre TV if you want to call in and have a little discussion about it. And let me go ahead and throw the link on Twitter, just in case some of my Twitter call say things that you do, you should be pretty good. So let's go ahead and like I said, if you want to call in, let me know. Like I said, I put the link on Facebook, put the link on YouTube. Just click on that. If you do want to come on camera, you don't have to be on camera. Uh-oh. I see somebody has showed up in the chat. And without further ado, Mr. Good Money himself. What's up, man?
What's happening? You talking about ain't got to be on camera. I got to do that.
Oh, I'm just saying, you don't have to be. You know, some people's camera shy. I'm just saying I can do a voice, man. What's going on?
Oh, okay, man. I can't call it, man. What's the word? I seen some great topics you were just discussing, my brother.
Cool. So I'm just going to go back over what I talked about earlier, man. I talked about the selection process because a lot of times when you start talking about relationships, folks want to talk about, after it went wrong, or they want to talk about, basically it's already too late. I'm saying before they even get to where emotions and all that other stuff get involved, what steps did you take just to pick somebody out?
Oh, yeah. And that's what I caught on. Hold that for me.
Go ahead.
That's what I caught on to, right?
Okay,
just
what's
like
up?
Man, you got to set the standards, period. Like you said, I love that part of the discussion. It's a standard. I mean, sometimes it veer off of that. But if you're serious, like you said, I think you got to take it like that. You done said it, like you said, the women, they can set a price or whatever, a income.
Yeah.
You can't go under it. If you do that, that's one check mark off the list. Now you have some. Oh, they all right. And you say, he's tall, he's black. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever you saying, or he's a good dad.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So if you going off a checklist, then that's what it is.
Okay. And see, I used something that you said last week when I was talking about this topic, when I was talking about you got to be self-aware.
Right.
And what I meant by that is, like, for example, if I said I love black women, right?
Right.
But my history showed nothing but I dated white women.
Right.
Then you're not self-aware because you're saying something that's not matching what you're doing.
Exactly.
So that was one thing that I think is a lot of people will miss out on. That's one aspect of it because you said this last week on your show. Which gonna be tomorrow. Quick little plug. 9 p.m.
I'm here.
9 p.m. tomorrow. Realist Red TV, man. One of the best shows on the internet, man. You gotta check it out.
I concur.
Yeah. So what you said last week was really, really good. Where you talked about your history being like your credit report.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say, but I don't mess with nothing but bad chicks. And then you look at my history and you like, man, them girls ain't all that fine, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you got to be self-aware and know where you fit, right? You got to know where you fit as far as the dating pool, from your looks to your income to your house, your car, your sex game. All those things are gonna get added up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because I mean, like I said, 90% of people don't even know what they're looking for real. And now that you threw that in there, I say the same 90% is on what you just said. Don't know what's going on. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I like the other point that you just said, where you said they don't know what they want. That's another part about being self-aware. If I say I'm looking for a wife, I'm looking for a baby mama, I'm looking for a one-night stand, whatever it is, I got to be the one to set those rules. Some people just go out. I'm out here.
Yeah,
I'm tired of being by myself.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't want to be by myself, but you don't have anything definitive to say, this is what I want, or
Right,
because
right,
because it's like this, right? We both own businesses. So let's say if I set my goal for the year at 300K,
right.
if I don't make 300K, I can say, well, I didn't accomplish my goal. But if I say, oh, I just want to make money this year, I could have made 200, and everybody be like, oh, that's cool. But if it's like I made money, but I don't know how much money I was planning on making. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
It's like
right. You don't know
out there.
what you just living. You don't know what you're doing. You have no agenda. Like I say, you probably heard me say before. I even believe that y'all both need to have some common goals, end goals. Period.
I agree.
That is one of the agreements when y'all first started dating, for real.
Right, and that's another part where I talked about being selective. Right.
Right.
You
Okay.
could go out with a woman who y'all could click, y'all could vibe, but just having chemistry and all that is not going to be enough, because it's got to be some end goals that's going to end up needing to be the same. Otherwise, you know what I mean? You still going to be sitting there with somebody at the end of the day that's not going to fit with you at the end.
Right, right, right. And you got to admit that. I mean, it's fun and shit for about 5 years, 10 years, them little long-term shack up situation. Then both of y'all know that y'all don't really fuck with each other. Now, you know how that, yeah.
Okay. And then I want to talk about one more aspect of being self-aware, and I want to get your opinion on it, because shout out to my girl Eden, man. She posted this today, and this kind of talks about spiritual awareness, right? And I want to get your opinion on this. She said, not this man telling me he's been trying to manifest me. Who the said you can manifest me? Can we also speak on how New Age manifestation are works and wonders of Beelzebub? So, you've heard people say this before. You've heard people say this before. God send me a mate.
Right.
God bring somebody into my life. Oh, I know God got somebody that's perfect for me, right?
Right.
So what I always ask people is, well, how do you expect God to interfere with free will?
Wait a minute though. What did she say that the boy said again?
He said that he was trying to manifest like a relationship with her.
Because see, that's the thing. They done started saying that manifest is the new way, good or bad, I don't know, to say praying or praying up on something. You feel what I'm saying? So now we had another dilemma with a play of words.
Mm-hmm.
Every season it's a play of words. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I'm lost, because nobody the niggas who manifesting ain't even asked a prayer of nobody. You feel what I'm saying? These niggas ain't got on their knees at night. These niggas ain't look to the sky. Who are you manifesting from? Yourself? Or like, you feel what I'm saying? What are you doing?
A lot of time people use that term like the universe, right? You heard that before. I manifested this from
the same conversation, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I think just on that level, I think what she was talking about is, if a woman came up to you and said, "Oh, Bert, I saw your show, and God told me that we need to be together."
Right.
You look at her like, don't you think God? my phone was off. Maybe let me see if God text me real quick. No, God ain't text me. Let me check my email. Nope, nothing there.
That memo, you feel?
But that's what I'm saying. But you have people out here right now who have been single for a long time, and they keep saying that God or Jesus or whoever they spiritual being that they look up to is going to send them something.
Right.
And when you're talking, I'm not even trying to get too far off subject, but most modern religions, every single deity gives the people who worship them free will. I don't know any deity, from Buddha to Allah to the Sikh gods, to the Greek gods, to the Egyptian gods, to the whoever, Ifa. It don't matter. Right. All of them give you free will.
Yeah.
So my question is, how can I manifest / pray for someone else, unless I'm trying to manifest something or pray for something against their will?
It's damn sure against the will. Yeah, I get that. That's why I'm saying, hey, that's some deep shit, Jadine. That shit need to go in the Guinness Book of Deep Thought.
But that's just what I'm saying. A lot of people stay single because they just, I'm holding out for God to send me the right person. And I'm like, you're gonna be holding out for a really long time because it don't work like that. That's not.
Yeah, that is the oldest Harriet Tubman Sparks shit I ever heard. But that's what I'm saying. You got to change those old great grandmama remedies and phrase and shit. That shit is over with. We're in a whole new world, like that boy Dave Chappelle been on their ass. You already know what's going on. We're in a whole new world. It's completely, man, come on, man. What's meant to be ain't even meant to be no more.
Because I'm gonna put a picture up on the screen, right? Because you tell me who prayed for who.
Yeah, hey, boy, you squirrel me then.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a situation where you look at this picture and you like, well, I'm assuming they getting married. So if this is happening in some sort of church, who prayed for who?
Man, hey,
did he manifest her? Is that the man of her dreams? You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what we doing, but not even to be a hater. I'm just saying, regardless of what you want to say, she about to get married or she married now the way it look. So she did something right. I can't speak on the ins and outs of their relationship, but what I'm saying is, from an outside looking in, you be like, well, how they get together?
Yeah, that you know what that is? P-R-E-Y. I mean, yeah, that type of pray.
Yeah, she did look out of young, and I mean, my man probably pushing 70, but that's just something that I want to say. People will look at that and be like, oh man, they're clowning, but then they'll go home by themselves. So I'm like, well, you might clown it, but maybe somehow, some way,
maybe God brought him to her, and that's what.
Is that what she prayed for? I guess. All right, I got one more little thing that I saw on the internet today, man. It says 50% of women have a backup partner waiting in case their current relationship fails, says a study. Do you believe that is true or not?
I mean, they say it's true. It could be. I mean, it just depends on the woman. I done seen a lot of variety of women, so I ain't gonna put it in no box. The thing is, it's the man job to have your attention and have you locked in. So like I say, we know the ones who running around setting the nigga car on fire and flipping out windows and chasing them down with pistols. I'm saying they ain't worried about no other man, trust me.
Right.
I know how that would go. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe the last number when they called him 3 years ago or whatever, yeah, it could be in the phone, but but the ones that just casually, that's just my friends, and you know how that go.
Right, and that's what I was saying, but it's interesting to me that this study showed that basically you got to look at it like the show we talk about here. We don't talk about it a lot, but we still kind of look at it from that perspective, like the whole polyamory, having multiple people. So if you're in a full-blown relationship, but you got this break in case of an emergency on the side,
right?
It's
why y'all don't posse up?
Yeah, based on this study, not saying that it exists everywhere. It's like that person would be, if you got somebody that's waiting in the wings when your relationship is over or it don't work out, it's like you dealing in polyamory too.
Male or female, right?
Male or female. You know what I'm saying? So if you waiting on somebody to get a divorce and you know they already tucked up, same thing.
I mean, but that's why I'm telling you, as the older you get, the finer the line get. Because I'm saying the shit that they say you do shit dumb when you young or whatever, but you know the world finna end when you like 48, 51. You know it's getting time running out. That box finna got done turned into cartwheels. I'm saying, so your time running thin, so you might just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna let her eat that pussy. Yeah, you feel that? You know she might do anything. Oh my bad, we done turned up. Y'all got me in the zone. But yeah.
But I think you made a good point. Go ahead, my bad.
No, I'm just saying, as time run out and shit don't go right, like you said, you been saying you alone. But it's 48, you alone. Shit, you're gonna be like, fuck it, I give a young nigga $1,000. Fuck it, come on. I'm saying
that's my point.
To change with age. That's why I'm saying this shit so tricky, man.
Yeah, but that goes the point about that being selective, right? Now, the longer and longer you are by yourself, in my opinion, the least selective you're gonna be. You're just gonna be like, yo, I need a heartbeat. I need somebody. I need a heartbeat
The heartbeat.
and a car. If he got a heartbeat in the car, he got a chance. You understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't low. They have lowered the standard down so low. It'll just basically be anybody at a certain point, man. But I do like that though. With
Yeah.
age, that selective kind of gets thrown out the window because you start looking, like, how much time is gonna tick, like what they call it, the hourglass, that sand. How you looking at it, how much sand I got left.
Yeah, it ain't much.
Yeah, man. You got anything? I know you always pushing something, man. Because I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. Because I gotta leave out early so I can make sure I got plenty of time. Because I know you about to send me about 85 photos, about 75 videos. Get ready for tomorrow. So I gotta be up early to make sure I'm in place where I need to be with some good Wi-Fi. So I can make sure we get this show out tomorrow. But you got anything for the people tomorrow? There's something to tell the people before I let you go.
All I'm gonna tell y'all is Real is Rare TV, Libre TV, that boy Birdie. Remember them 3 things, and we gonna go crazy tomorrow. I got goddamn 2 secrets to get that credit score right again, cause y'all don't want to. Some of y'all, I'm just gonna go on and bless y'all. So just be there for that, and then I got we got some quizzes to do tomorrow. So but just get with me. But we got Good Money Apparel coming this week. New hats, new clothing, man, everything, man. I got a new wave though. See, this ain't that type of TV, but I got a new wave for y'all. So tap in.
All right, man. All right, bro. All right. So the last thing I want to show y'all is we talked about certain things, and I found this interaction on social media because people love posting their DMs. They love posting their text messages and things like that. So let me show you something real quick. This is funny to me. Dude said, why you ain't called back? The woman says, you weren't saying anything and you were on the game. And he said, do you think I'm deaf when I'm on the game? He said, would you rather fight a chicken every time you get in your car or fight one orangutan with a sword randomly once a year? And then he was like, she didn't respond for 30 minutes. And he was like, are you thinking? So I thought this was funny because it looked like he was basically trying to say he could multitask, but look at the question that he asked and said, I can play the video game and I can think at the same time. But the question is, would you rather fight a chicken every time you get in the car or fight one orangutan with a sword? Like, that's the type of conversation that maybe he has once he when he's playing his video games. But once again, man, I thank everybody for tuning in. This will be available on Libre TV. If you watch this over there, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, y'all always can watch it over there as well. But like I said, y'all definitely want to make sure y'all make your way over to Libre TV. Make sure you got an account set up over there, because if you haven't noticed, this ain't a political show. This is a relationship show, and I don't bash people. We open it up here to let people talk about issues, problems, whatever the case may be. But they are starting to restrict what you say, how you think, whatever it is that you're doing. So you definitely want to make sure you make your way over to Libre TV, get your account set up, because if the powers that be decide to stop, to start taking things down, they decide to start restricting what content that you can have, you will always have a safe place over there at LibreTV.co. I'm still trying to go. I'm supposed to be doing a Kamikaze here pretty soon, but I'm trying to find a movie theater. Movie theaters ain't really open like they used to be, so I'm trying to find a movie theater because I went and saw Venom. I want to give you my opinion on that. I still got to finish up What If, but I still got to go see Shang-Chi. Hopefully I get to see that before the Eternals come out, because I'm not looking forward to the Eternals. I told you about that if you watch my other comic book show. What else did I have? Oh, I do have a new show that is going to be coming out probably around the middle of November, because it'll be nice and cold, and everybody knows that's cuffing season, and everybody starts to hate the fact that they lonely. So I got a new segment that I'll be doing on Saturdays, and I'll let y'all have a little bit more information about that coming up. But it's gonna be fun, be like a little game show. It's gonna be live interactions and all these different things. So if you're single and you're interested in not being single, then you can always hit me up on Twitter at 50 Shades of Saul G. You can hit me at Libre TV at Saul G, or you can hit me on IG at the Libre Network. So any one of those things I respond to. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it, man. But once again, this has been the Pollywood Podcast. Hope y'all learned something. One more thing real quick, man. Shout out to some of my international peoples that's been watching, man. I'm looking at some of the data from YouTube and things like that, man. So a shout out to Macedonia watching. I believe that's my boy Nico out there, man. Shout out to my boy Nico out there in Macedonia holding it down. And Ghana as well. Africa is checking into the building as well, man. So I appreciate y'all watching. And until next week, man, I've been MoneyGram, man. I'll see y'all next Tuesday.